Well, I think Ukraine is something which people can't control, and it's going to be with us for some time. But I think investors are just assuming that common sense will prevail, and although it looks like Crimea will migrate to Russia after a vote, as long as Ukraine itself, as long as Russia respects its territorial integrity and doesn't try and take some of the eastern regions, then I think possibly we can work our way out of this crisis. Although sanctions, if they come in, they may not actually help. They may escalate the tensions somewhat. Well, I think if there is a deterioration in the Ukraine situation, then clearly the dollar as the safe haven will tend to benefit, and so also will US Treasuries. That's usually what happens when there is a crisis of this sort, some kind of geopolitical shock. But let's keep our fingers crossed and hope that that can be avoided. Otherwise, we think the dollar will probably be on a firming trend in the second half of this year. Well, I think the US economic trajectory is pretty well discounted. The temporary severe winter weather that disrupted in the first quarter, I think we're now through that, and the numbers are picking up a little bit. So there isn't really anything new, I think, and we're still quite a long way from the time when the Fed will start actually raising short-term rates, and US long-term yields have come down. So it's not surprising, I think, that the dollar is relatively stable or to slightly weak at the moment, but we do think it will strengthen somewhat later in the year. Well, I think Modi is obviously a very big influence on the stock market, and whether that is now basically in the price, I suspect as the election draws near, it will actually run a little bit further. Clearly, investors are really hoping that there will be a change in government in India and a more business-friendly, reform-minded administration led by a BJP coalition. That is the dream outcome for investors, both domestic and foreign. Whether that actually materializes, we'll have to wait and see. So I still think there's quite a bit of risk there.